Car Sales Talk 101, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is. Here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Car Sales Talk 101. I'm Terry Cameron. Thanks for hanging out with me again this week. Before we get started, I want to read a message that I got from Kate Lattice from Maranello BMW in the Toronto, Canada area. She says that she'd like me to do an episode targeted at women in the industry because I guess I talk about salesmen all the time. She says, us ladies are very outnumbered on the floor. She's the only one at her dealership on a team of 11. And she says that women deal with a lot more objections than guys do. She says she's been asked in the past for a salesman whenever she approached people. And when she answers the phone, I get asked to be transferred to the sales department. She gets mistaken for a receptionist whenever she walks around. She said she'd be very interested to hear my take on this. And if, aside from being very understanding and positive and knowing the cars inside and out, what other advice do I have for ladies in the car business? Well, this is going to be scary, but here we go. Now, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I can tell you that when I first got into the car business, a female salesperson was rare. And I kind of think they are nowadays also, but not near as much as they used to be. Forbes says that women represent about 39% of the sales force. Now, not necessarily in the car business, but the sales force as a whole. And that's a big increase from 3% over just 10 years ago. So women are actually starting to step out more and entering into the sales career. I think what happens, and again, this is my opinion, and I hope I don't sound chauvinistic at all, but I think what happens is it's a confidence thing. It seems like, in the car business is a good old boy network. It's always the men. That's all you ever see is men selling cars. Maybe they're supposed to know more about the cars than the ladies. Well, that's not necessarily true anymore, but it's a confidence thing. I think what ladies need to do on the sales floor, in whether at a dealership or anywhere else, is they have got to work on their confidence. And the way you work on your confidence is practice, drill, and rehearse. Don't consider yourself a female on the sales floor. Consider yourself a sales professional on the sales floor, and make sure that you exude that confidence. Customers can see the weakness in salespeople, whether it's men or women, and believe it or not, they don't want to talk to that person. They want to work with something that's a little bit more confident and stronger, even if they're afraid that they might be sold. Now, you mentioned that you know cars inside and out, Kate. That's good, because I know a lot of salespeople, salesmen, saleswomen, that don't know the first thing about the vehicle that they're selling other than the price. So it's really important that you establish that with your customers right off the bat, that you are a sales professional and you know your product. Now, you can't be timid. Another way to handle this is make sure you practice your meet and greet. Get out there and greet that customer like a sales professional. My favorite one, and I mentioned it in previous episodes, is welcome to ABC Motors. My name is, and my job is to help you find the right car. And let them know you're a sales professional right up front. Be a little bit different. Now, there's some other notes that I took, and I really would rather not go into a lot of research because I think what people like to hear is my take, not that I know a whole bunch about this stuff, but my take on women in the business. I can tell you that first off, you need to find a place that has an environment that allows you to succeed. Don't worry about being the only female on the sales floor. Just go out there and do your job and make sure you have a leader, a manager that is willing to help you. You need to find a mentor, somebody that's already been through what you're going through right now. It doesn't really matter where they're at, in the dealership, online, a podcast like this one, or any social media platforms. I guarantee you'll find somebody if you just look for them. Yeah, again, I want to get back to the confidence part. That's where everything comes together. It's obvious when you are not confident about what you're doing. The other thing I want you to do is speak up when you don't think things are going your way. And I don't mean you in particular, but ladies, if it's an all man or the good old boys network and you don't think it's fair, you got to speak up. You really have to. And that's where I go back to making sure you have some leadership there that understands what you're going through. Now, I want to touch a little bit on some of the things that I've seen in the past with some of the ladies, female saleswomen that I've worked with. Now, I've had some really good ones, and I've had some that really weren't good at all. I think the best ones that we had that I've dealt with were the ones that were able to listen. They were able to listen, and they were also really good at finding out the problem. What is the problem with the customer? What do we need to overcome? Now, it took a little while before they got as good as some of the guys when it comes to the negotiating and closing, but getting up to that point, they just blew everybody else away. They were so much better at listening, finding their needs and the wants, and finding the vehicle that would meet their needs and wants. But as they got better, they were the smart ones. They did look for mentors. They did listen to other people, and they did get better at what they were doing, and closing came so much easier for them. I also think that ladies or women are better at reading body language. They know when they're getting bullshitted or not. They know exactly what is going on at all times, and they're very cognitive of it. So ladies have a different skill set when it comes to that. And us guys, we suck at it, and I'm going to put myself in that same boat. I suck at that also. And it takes an awful lot of work for me to stop talking and let my customers finish talking. I finish way too many sentences before a customer gets a chance to finish them than I should. So I noticed that the ladies that work as salespeople, not only the salespeople, but we have a lady, a female general manager. Whenever somebody is talking to her, she stops everything she's doing, turns around and looks them in the eye and shows that she is paying attention to them. And then I look at the guys in different positions, and some of them that were general managers, dealers, at other dealerships I worked at, and they wouldn't do that. So I think that being a lady, a woman, a female, has its benefits. Now, do you have to break through that wall, that glass ceiling to get the same attention as the guys? Well, let me tell you how you do it. Sell more cars than them. Be at work on time. Don't take no for an answer from a customer. Just do your job. That's all you have to do. Practice, drill, rehearse. Give 100% of the process to 100% of the people, 100% of the time, and you will outshine them all. And then it'll get to the point to where you're not the lady on the floor. You're the salesperson that they want to deal with. Now, the other thing that I've noticed with some of the female salespeople that I work with, they were so much better at prospecting. They were so much better at follow-up. It seemed like that came natural to them. So if I had to say the one thing that, other than confidence, that a female salesperson needs to be able to do, and that's forget that they're a female salesperson. That be a sales professional. Just do everything you have to do, and you might have to work a little bit harder at it. But here's the kicker. Once you get to that point and you are better than everybody else and you're just selling more cars than them, they won't even notice anything else other than, I want to be like her. Now, I know I probably jumped around a whole lot on this, but again, if you're a female on the sales floor, in the car business, or any business where you negotiate sales, you really have to look at it as, okay, I understand it may be a little bit tougher. People may not trust me as much when it comes to the technical stuff or the mechanic or side of the vehicle. But if I can practice my trade and I can get really good at it, they won't have a choice but to be impressed and want to do business with me. So the confidence is one thing, and then not giving up is the other. Just keep on working at it. Eventually, you'll break that barrier. And I've seen it happen many, many times. I'm hoping I answered your question, Kate, and any other ladies that had some questions like that. If not, do what you did before. Shoot me a message. Let me know. And if you're more specific on something, maybe I can be a little bit more specific. But again, I hope I didn't sound like I was one of the good old boys. I'm just trying to speak from what I've seen in the past and currently I see happening right now. I've seen good and I've seen bad. I've seen them both in men and women. But the ones that were the best were the ones that didn't pay attention to all the other nonsense that was going on. They came to work, not to wait. So thanks again for listening to me. Hoping I answered your question. And remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please rate it and write a review on Apple Podcast. We appreciate your valuable feedback. You can email Terry at 10minutesalestalk@hot.rr.com. And don't forget to share the show with a friend.